Great and wonderful people, the people I have missed you, man. It's been an interesting experience having you always stopping by on this journey. And you're stopping by as meant a lot, by the way. Imetuinua it as, and I would repeat saying this, that it has made this channel to be one of the fastest growing channels. And being the fastest growing channel, it has been touching lives left, center, right. And I just want to thank everyone. Thank you for subscribing, for sharing, for liking. And by the way, thank you because I can see messages trickling in and people testifying that my life has been touched. And someone asked me a question some few days ago that, hey, seemingly this channel is all about religious matters. I want to demystify that fact. And I want to thank you for trusting this channel and always watching and always referring. It is not a religious channel. It's only that those our first guests who've been coming here have been those who are close to me, friends who are in the church, who are pastors and who are friends. But if you want us to do an array of guests, you would do so well to suggest a guest. Just suggest, niambie tu ni nani unataka akuje kwa hii show. Unaweza ituma kwa email yenye iko hapa. Unaweza suggest mtu mwenye unataka akuje. Unaweza taka hata wewe mwenyewe utake kukuja. You just send your story here. We will come looking for you. And we will sit and learn from these stories and just impact one life after another. And guys, we will grow together. From the previous 2 episodes, it was amazing. We got some take-homes, some serious take-homes, and I was challenged as an individual. And I want to welcome you to this other episode. And of course, an episode in Kimurgo Ruby Talk Show is a blast one. And in this episode, we meet a man with an interesting story. Being born out of some circumstance that he will share. I will not reveal it at this point. And he's born, can you imagine being born out of rape? By the way, I was going through a lot, searching through the internet, and I found out that concerns and attention is given to those people who are raped. But concern is not given to the children that are born out of that act. And therefore, I just want to welcome you, and I just want you to take your notes so that we all learn together, and our guest is willing to share his story. Hey, Erastus Omutamba Samuel
Erastus Omutamba.
Does it matter?
It matters.
Karibu sana. How are you?
I'm fine.
Doing well?
Yeah.
Happy to see you.
Thank you.
You look great.
Yeah. I was taught as a teacher.
You are a teacher?
I was a teacher for 29 years in a secondary school.
Interesting. I'll be so excited to learn how you have metamorphosized, because anyway, you've become a pastor. You're telling me that you are a teacher for 29 years, and you don't seem to be growing old. You seem to be growing younger every day.
Yeah, the grace of God.
You'll tell me the secret. And anyway, just tell these guys who you are and where you come from.
I'm Samuel Erastus Omutamba.
3 names.
3 names.
Interesting.
I was born in Bunyore, Central Bunyore.
Muluhya.
And where I was born is where people smoke bang.
Did you smoke?
No. I did not smoke. God gave me grace to escape it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And this name Omutamba belongs to my great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather?
Erastus belongs to my grandfather. Samuel, I was given by my mother. She told me that she was too young to get a name.
You are too young.
My mother
Mm-hmm.
was too young to get a name. So she took the Bible, dropped it down, it opened Samuel, and that is the name she gave me.
That's an interesting way to give someone a name.
Yeah. You see, she was just 13 years when she was raped.
Ooh. Things are moving very fast.
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years.
13 years, a class 5 girl in Martin Luther Primary School in Nairobi.
Oh, they were living in Nairobi.
Were living in Nairobi with my grandfather. So a relative came who was not straight
Mm-hmm.
and asked her to take her somewhere, and that's how she fell into what I am today.
How did you find out?
When I was celebrating my 55th year.
Your 55th year?
Yeah.
How old are you then?
I am celebrating, I'll be finishing my 56th year on 7th of this month.
You don't seem to be a 57. What are you doing? Tell me, because I want to be like this when I have 57 years.
Now the grace of God is good.
That's all?
And the word of God, I exercise.
Ah.
I exercise every day.
You've not told us what you do currently. You married?
I'm married.
Yeah.
I have a wife. I have 4 sons, 2 daughters, and 3 granddaughters.
You're already a grandfather.
I'm a grandfather.
Interesting. You're telling me, wow, and that is a bombshell. Like we said, many people don't end up finding out. Some of them find out in an unclear circumstance. You're telling me you found out when you're 55 years old.
Yeah, you see.
Where were you being raised that you didn't find out when you were young?
I was raised by my grandfather and grandmother.
Okay.
Not just that. I knew my mother as my elder sister.
Oh.
Yeah. And I thought myself to be the last born son of Erastus Omutamba. But around class 5, class 6, the relatives came asking my grandmother, this child you are allowing to grow from here, what will happen to him?
Why?
You see, that is when I raised my area.
Oh, you had people asking that.
A relative was asking my grandmother. And grandmother said, he will go to Kisumu and polish shoes for people, and then he will get a point of land and then live the way others are living.
I mean, your grandmother is saying that you will amount to nothing.
That means, because for them, they were making a mistake to allow me grow from that home.
Why?
I was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe boys, when they grow in the angles, places, they take the blessings of the clan.
It wasn't related with the issue of rap.
No.
Maybe you can unpack it a little bit. Mm-hmm. You're finding out this in class 5.
I'm finding my origin as a product of rap when I am 55 years.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. And when I was celebrating my 55th year with my mother,
I thought I had it wrong. Mm-hmm. So you are being raised in your grandfather's
home.
And someone says, why are you allowing him?
Mm.
Okay.
So my ears rose.
Yes.
When I heard that, then the grandmother explained, and I now learned. So I was not a last born son of the home.
That's a very bad way to learn.
Yeah.
Learn it all.
And when I learned that is what I was,
mm-hmm.
I repeated class 6.
Why?
How do I go and become a shoe polisher?
Oh,
How do I go to Kisumu to be polishing shoes?
you are doing badly. You are doing badly in school.
No, I was not doing bad, but you see, when you hear that you will go and be polishing shoes for people, I repeated, and I became number 1. Went to class 7. After I passed class 7 is when I discovered there was nobody to pay school fees for me. Then a friend to my grandfather paid for me in Msire Secondary School as a day scholar. And I decided now to do every work in that home, girlish works and old boyish works. I did not care, so long as I was in school.
To undo the things that they had said that you will end up being a cobbler and a shoe polisher in Kisumu. Why Kisumu?
Kisumu, that is where boys and who have such a history like mine could go. It's near Bunyore.
Because at this point you don't know, you've just found out that you don't belong to that home.
Yeah.
It didn't ring to your mind that now why do I belong?
Now, of course, I began inquiring. You know, when people are angry with you, they tell you, I'll beat you, you'll go further, I'll take you to your people. So, such a statements were there.
Okay.
You would hear them. Then some relatives who would write. I borrowed a book, and then I found a relative had written, just call your father, call grandfather, grandfather, call grandmother, grandmother. Why are you calling grandfather? Where are your fathers? Is it not because your mothers were prostitutes?
Wow.
And you know, it would really hit hard.
How do you brace that? How do you get courage to continue in such, because seemingly you're going through stigma?
Yeah, stigma. Even some neighbor would throw words to me, and I would move on. In fact, when I began doing all those girlish duties, they would call me Kohana Korosmelani.
What does that mean?
It means the girl for Rosemary.
Because you're doing that girlish work.
Yeah, girlish work, going to the river, going to grinding mills and all that.
Do you think that is girlish work?
Of course, in traditional setup, that is girlish work.
But things are changing.
Yeah, but that is what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I was in that day school, God gave me grace to borrow books from Bunyore girls, borrow notes from people who are doing well, and God enabled me to pass in Form 4.
Wow.
I got Division 1.
I mean, I don't even understand, because as we did KCP, KCSE, when you say Division 1,
Division 1, it was
was it the highest, like an
the
A
highest,
or a B plus?
That was the highest of an A.
Oh.
We used to have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4, and then Z was a failure.
Oh, so you were bright. You became bright to negate the fact that you are called. At this point, you don't. Up to the point where you are in Form 4, you have not suspected anything. How is your mom?
I have now known my mother, whom I used to call my elder sister.
Yes.
Is now my mother. Okay? I don't know who my grandfather, whom I used to call father, is my grandfather. My grandmother, who I used to call mother, she's what? Grandmother.
It dawned on you that you don't belong to this home.
Yeah.
So those are the struggles that children who are unfortunate, who are born out of rape, because at this point you don't know that your mother was raped.
Yeah, my mother was already married elsewhere.
You don't say?
Yeah.
Married to another home.
She was married to another home. So she only used to come and visit and go back to her matrimonial home.
So you didn't really feel the maternal care from her?
I had the maternal care from my grandmother. And then When now I went to Form 5,
Yes.
grandfather came and paid school fees. A-level. He was very happy that his grandchild had afforded money to reach where many of members of the clan had not reached. So he paid, came and encouraged me and told me, don't think that everybody is happy about the success you have. Beware of being poisoned. So I was careful. So Form 5, Form 6, and God enabled me also to pass Form 6. And when I passed Form 6, now my mother came to tell me, she is my mother.
She waited until you are a grown-up now.
Yeah. So she told me, no, my son, I am your mother.
Someone that they never thought that he will ever reach that point.
Yeah.
Did people stop talking?
No, they came even to tell you, I had the sister to my mother who paid for me Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. They came to tell her, let that boy go to Nairobi and hustle the way others are hustling there. Keep your money. But you know, my late aunt was worked with me. She worked with me, and then in the local church called Butongo SDA Church, another God sent there a missionary, a Kikuyu man, student at MC High School, Davis Thiaka. Thiaka taught me music. He taught me how to compose songs. So when he left, I took over.
When he left, you took over.
Yeah, I formed to teaching songs. Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, Form 5. I was teaching, and even in 1987, I was the third best student composer in the country.
Third best?
Yeah. A song on national building and development.
There's something they say in the Bible now that you are a Christian. They say, can anything good come out of Jerusalem? Out of Nazareth.
No, they say, can anything good come from Bunyore?
Why Bunyore?
You see, Bunyore is known for smoking bang. And people are rough. So they associate with that smoking, and even in the school in which I was, the smoking was there. But you see, I had an origin.
Oh yeah.
I had an origin, and I wanted to beat that origin. So when I finished, my grandfather was working in South Nyanza.
Okay.
He took me to Ranen. Courtesy of him, I became a secondary school teacher.
After you're done with Form 6 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I qualified. I was called to come to Moi University, Eldoret.
Main campus.
Main campus. And in main campus, I was there for 3 years and passed. God gave me second class upper honors. And I chose to seek for the God of my grandfather.
What do you mean seek for the God of your grandfather?
He did what the Banyore don't do.
Oh.
Allowing a child from a daughter to grow from his home.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a taboo.
No, they believe he will take the blessings, so will take him home to his parents.
Literally take the blessings of other children?
Yeah, they believe so. And sure, I've taken all of them.
You believe you are?
I have. So I sought the God of my grandfather. And I wanted to test him to see, really, this SDA God.
You are not an Adventist by then?
I was a nominal Adventist.
Okay. What do you mean nominal?
Going because people are going there.
Oh, so they are nominal, not even in the Adventist, because I know viewers, there are some viewers who are not Adventist. They can be nominal Catholics, nominal
just
Anglicans.
A hen laying eggs without a cock.
But you need a grade.
you just found that religion in the home,
Yeah, okay.
and then naturally you picked it, but you never made it your own. So when I read from Moi University, I took 3 years studying this SDA faith of my grandfather, because my mother went to PAG.
Oh, but she's from the Adventist home.
But when she got me, she left. I was educated when I was in class 4.
Why did she leave? Or she was married to a PAG home?
She was married to a PAG home.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying, did you see your mother? What did your mother go through? Because of course you have not known about the history of rap, but did your mother go through anything?
She went through very hard experiences. She has shared.
Tell us.
Yeah. One, when she conceived, they
Yes.
thought she would die. She was too young.
Because 13 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when she was studying in Nairobi, she was brought back home. Now at home, the church in which she was going believed that this is immorality. So when she gave birth of me,
Yes.
she wanted baptism, they refused to baptize her. She wanted the child to be dedicated, they refused to dedicate.
After she's given birth.
Yeah. So she got married elsewhere. Where she got married, somebody committed suicide. So she was removed from there. Went to where she is today.
I mean, let's go slow. Like you're saying, she got married after giving birth to you. She goes to this other home, and there is a suicide.
Yeah, the man who married her had a wife, and she did not know.
Oh, okay.
So the wife committed suicide, and she was removed from there by her aunts. She had conceived. My late sister, whom I buried this year.
It's unfortunate. So she had to come home.
She had to come home, and then left the two of us with my grandmother and grandfather.
What do you mean left?
She got married.
Oh, again to another home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another home where she is up to today. Yeah, and I could say she could come home. You see, looking at your sister suffering, very sick. She's treated by her brothers. You could see it.
Her suffering.
Her suffering. I have a picture of her sufferings. The ulcers she had. I have it.
You're saying she's still alive up to today?
She's still alive up to today.
Wow. Good to know that we are talking about someone who is still alive.
She's still alive.
You're telling me, because I want us to understand, you've told us the woes that you had to go through when you were young.
Yeah.
We have not gotten the side of the woes that your mother had to go through. You have shared a little bit of what she had to go through. But the question is, now you're finding out full story of what really transpired when you're 55.
Yeah.
Now tell us that.
Now, when I was 55,
you're done with the university.
Yeah.
You're teaching.
I'm a teacher.
Yes.
I chose to work with the SDA schools.
Okay.
So I worked those 29 years. When I'm celebrating my 55th year, my mother was very sick.
Okay.
She was so sick that I feared even to take her to MTRH. They would think it was corona.
Oh, she was sick during corona period.
Corona period. So we only used natural herbs here, and she got well. So when she came for second treatment at my place, is when she told me, now my son, I want to tell you the truth.
Wow. Let me.
I was not an immoral girl. I was betrayed by a relative who had a boyfriend and prepared another man for me without me knowing. When I escorted my relative, I found what got me. Your father raped me. You are the product of that rape.
How did you receive the news?
I really felt bad. Of course, you know, she's telling me when I have already found my dad. He has been in my life for 15 years. And when my dad was in my life, you know, when I became a great teacher and a great preacher, people researched about me.
Before we go to the father, because I would want to know how you met your father and what pushed you to look for your father. Seemingly you are looking for your father when you don't know about this rep thing.
Yeah.
Now maybe I can take you a little bit at the point where you met your father. What pushed you to look for your father up to that point when your mom is telling you about this thing? You can carry us through up to that point.
What made me look for my father?
This is when?
2008.
Okay.
I had become a preacher.
Yes.
And you know those offshoot tags, which are common in this church. The people would call me an offshoot. So they researched about this offshoot. And in researching this offshoot, they were told it's not even an offshoot. It's even fatherless.
Oh.
Not just fatherless. The language where I was, they are calling ekerentane. Ekerentane in that language is a kid who came with a mother. Or in my area, they say a kid who was sired from the fence.
That is that
Ekerentane.
Is that a lawyer? That's not a lawyer word.
That is a Kisi word.
So you are working in Kisi at this point.
Yeah, and it really hurt me. So I took the book of Malachi. I told God, you said you'll turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers. If my father is anywhere on this earth, turn his heart to look for me.
Because now they are mocking you.
Yeah, they were mocking me. I would feel very bad. And I was praying in July.
Even in church you are being mocked, and they're...
Of course, even now, you know, you find yourself in a square peg in a round hole. You are not fitting. You are not fitting. Of course, you are a famous preacher, a famous teacher, but that gap of lacking a father is hard.
The father figure is missing.
The father figure is missing. So what I did when I prayed, so I admitted a student. I was in charge of admitting some students in Kamagambo College.
Yeah.
While admitting a students, I admitted, somebody called me, wanted a vacancy in college. The girl I had admitted was her husband, was my father's businessmate. So when the girl was listening to my story, she asked me, and where was this father of yours coming from? I told her, I was coming from where you are married. Do you know his name? And I said, I heard my grandmother mention one name, and this is the one I know. So I mentioned the name. They said, wait a minute. My husband has a businessmate with such a name, but there are two. May we ask and see which one?
Which name is that?
Which name is that? So she rang. She rang the husband as, so and what is the name of so and so? Well, what is his second name? Yeah. Ask him, did he ever get any child anywhere on this earth? And then when husband asked, yeah, he said, you are asking me a question that is disturbing me. I sired a child on this earth and I don't know where he is. I've inquired and I've been told his uncle is somewhere, so I want to go and look for that uncle to show me where my child is.
He's never been settled.
No. So God was disturbing him.
Oh, after you read the prayer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what was the name? The name that he had?
He was called Charles Cheche. So I knew Cheche, but I did not know Charles. That was my dad.
Okay.
So on 25th of August 2008, I saw a tall brown man.
Your father was brown?
Yeah. I am darker like my mother. Yeah, coming to my house. That was my dad. Of course, when he came with the husband to my student. But the joy, joy of meeting him and hugging with the tears, and then he apologized.
Did he tell you the story?
He told me later. He told me how he was taken to Makadara courts.
Did he tell you the story, or it's your mother who told you first?
My mother has told me first. My dad died when, of course, he was taken to court those days.
So now what I want us to do is go back to your mother. When your mother is telling you this before, because now you have met your dad, and he's not told you this story. Take us where your mother tells you the story.
Okay.